Hey guys, it's Marty. How's it going? I just wanted to jump on today and have a little conversation. Something that may be controversial, something that may be uncomfortable to talk about, but I don't think we should shy away from the uncomfortable all the time. I think it's something that we need to address, talk about it with each other, maybe start a discussion down below. What we are going to be discussing today, I'm just going to come out and say it, games I hate to love. Alright, we're going to talk about 5 games today I hate to love. Disclaimer, what I mean is they are not good. They are not critically acclaimed. They are not necessarily even cult classics, fan favorites. They're not great. But they all hold some kind of special place in my heart for various reasons, and I know we all have them, right? The games that you're like, ugh, not proud. So, let's just get into it. First game we're going to talk about today. Die Hard for the PlayStation. Die Hard Trilogy. I don't know if anybody grew up playing this game on the PlayStation, but if you did, it is just a bunch of dialogue pretty much stripped directly from the movies, just spattered in. The graphics are PlayStation graphics. You are definitely blocks, running around, saving blocks, being heroic, doing what Bruce Willis does best, a hero at heart. But really, so you're going through level of freeing the hostages, taking down the baddies. It's not good. There's great one-liners, really funny dialogue, but like I said, it's just things taken from the movies, and there's really not too much of a story per se to it. I probably had no business playing it when I was younger. Played it with my older brother. It's so bad, it's good. It's one of those funny ha-has. You gotta try it. If nothing else, just try it for the ha-has. Alright? It was like, I think it came out 96, 97, 98, in the 90s. So I was definitely young when I played it, and it has not aged well, but I still think it's worth a playthrough and fun. I think it'll make you giggle, so check it out if you have not, and if you have, let me know down below for sure. The second game I want to talk about, I don't have a physical copy anymore. My brother might, again, something we played when we were younger together, but I have not managed to find it yet. Small Soldiers for the PlayStation. If you remember the movie, I think again, maybe late 90s, 2000s, I think late 90s, it's not based off the movie, so the characters come from the movie, but the story is completely different. And I will not at all say that it's bad, like as in it's a bad game, but if you're comparing it to the movie, they just really have nothing to do with each other, and it's pretty goofy, pretty classic 90s PlayStation graphics again, but that's fine. It has a lot of character. I think the missions are fun. You get to see new characters that weren't in the movie, but they made exclusively for the game, which is really cool. And I just love Small Soldiers in general. I loved the movie when I was a kid. I liked the game because it really played on that whole trope of like, oh, the monsters aren't the bad guys, and you kind of get to know them a little bit more intimately. And I don't know, another one that's just fun to play. It's not going to stress you out. You're going to have a good time. You might as well just kind of give it a go. Why not? What do we have to lose, right? Third one, we're getting more and more controversial as we go down the list. So the third one, if you're a big fan of the franchise, and I am, it has never been a fan favorite, and that is Silent Hill Downpour. Now, I want to say this came out maybe 2012, 2013. I might be getting all of these dates wrong, but definitely look it up. It's muddy graphics. And here's the thing. I'm not really somebody who gets taken out of a game by graphics per se. You know, something can have these beautiful, intricate, magical, masterful graphics, but if the story isn't there, then really at the end of the day, what do you have? So that's not a standalone reason for me not to like a game. But the combat is kind of wonky. The character designs, like the enemies, if you're a fan of Silent Hill as a whole, you know that they have some really cool, really horrific enemies, and their scape is really detailed. Even though there's that layer of fog, there's so much attention to detail, I think, in the Silent Hill games in general, where this one is just kind of lacking. And then some of the enemy designs are kind of like, what were you trying to do there? But you know, somebody worked really hard on this, and it's still worth a try. I enjoyed it. You follow the main character's name, I believe, is Murphy, and he's a prisoner. I'm not going to give too much away about the story because, like I said, I would love to see if you guys check it out and let me know what you think. But what I love so much about Silent Hill, the series of Silent Hill, the world of Silent Hill, is you are playing as these main characters, but you actually know so little. Like, they're always going to Silent Hill because there's something that you don't know about them, or often they don't know about themselves, or they have suppressed. So it's still definitely worth your time for the story alone. And then, you know, you might get a few ha-has at the enemies and a few frustrating moments with the combat, but, you know, I still very much enjoyed it. Okay, number 4. I've mentioned the series on the channel before as my soul series. I love this series. I'm passionate about this series. It can do no wrong in a lot of ways in my eyes, except for it can do wrong because it has. Again, not critically acclaimed, not a fan favorite. Resident Evil 6. It's still better than 5. Tell me why it's not down below. But really, no, I just enjoyed 6 because we got to follow like basically 4 different campaigns or 4 different story arcs. And then you're doing each of these different story arcs with different characters and different teams, and you kind of, some of them get braided together and you end up getting the bigger picture. But there's definitely some bad moments. Defeating mutated Derek over and over and over again, if you know, you know. Boy, that was intense. However, it's worth the play. Again, I know I've said this so many times, but because you get to know different characters and you're also playing characters that you've grown up with and loved, it does tend to dip into a little bit more of the action realm, which I think 5 did too a lot, 5 and 6. Less in the horror scope, which is why I kind of tend to lean away from these two, but there's just something about the way that they created the stories in this one that is so interesting to me, and I just think for that reason, while I'm not proud, I am not ashamed. Check out Resident Evil 6 if you haven't, okay? Just do it. You never know. You might love it. Last one we need to talk about today. It's a biggie. It's a doozy. It's probably the worst offense on the list. Again, if you're a fan of the franchise, the series, when I tell you, you'll know. And I want to say that I wanted to hate this game. I really did. I just didn't want to like it because I grew up playing the original, and this was, I guess, a reboot considered. And that is going to be DMC. So the original being Devil May Cry. I grew up again playing the first one, the second one. Those were great games. I loved them. This is not my Dante. Okay? Not my Dante. But it's not. And that's where I think it's so important to take a step back. I didn't want to like this. my husband made me play this because he loves the originals, but he loved this one too. And I was just like, oh, eye roll. I don't want to do it. No, 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 no. Kicking, screaming, refusing to believe it could be a good game. But, you know, take into consideration, it's not canon, right? It's not your Dante. It's not my Dante. It's a different Dante. And he is hilarious. There are so many lines, like he's obnoxious, he's annoying, but so much fun. You're gonna have a blast playing this game. The combat, good. The graphics, you know, elevated. It's a PlayStation 4. The story, okay, it's not your Dante, not your Devil May Cry, not your Virgil, etc. But it's different. It's different while still following, you know, the savage action in the sadistic world. So you never know. You might end up loving it. I think this is a big PSA. Try something. If you're hesitating, I totally get it, right? We like what we like. We know what we like. We don't want to branch out. But just because a critic doesn't give it a good rating, or your friends say it's trash, or it's just not getting the love it deserves, that's just it. You might get something completely different out of this than anybody else, you know? It doesn't have to be something that everybody else loves for you to enjoy it, like, so wholeheartedly. And that's the thing about these games is I love them. They're not good. They're garbage, but really nothing better than a garbage game. So many quotes I still use from these games. They're just fun to go back and run around and look at. And there's no reason that something has to be masterfully done for you to enjoy it. People still put their hard work into these, their passion, their time. It's always worth trying something, you know? If nothing else to rag on later. Okay, so I need to know down below, what absolute garbage, trash, terrible games do you hate to love? Why? Which ones are you like, okay, no, hear me out. It's so bad, it's good. I gotta know. Share with me. I've shared with you. Feeling vulnerable today. Let's do this together. And let me know if you guys would like to see 5 games I love to hate, because that is a whole different video, but I am most certainly willing to talk about those too, right? Because we all have those as well. That's a proud video. This might be not as proud, but something we needed to discuss. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.